All right, what's up out there? So, where we last left off, I completely beat the original Resident Evil 2. Definitely not the new one, because while everyone is around playing their copy of the newest Resident Evil, especially specifically the Resident Evil 2 remake, I'm just sitting here still playing the original PS1 games. So I could just start the Resident Evil 2 remake, but no, I'm gonna I set out a plan where I was gonna play the original PS1 games and then I'll get to playing Resident Evil 0, then the remake of Resident Evil 1, then play the remake of Resident Evil 2. Basically, I just wanna for the most part get the original PS1 games, just get that done and out of the way, as well as playing, um, I don't know, I don't really know how to call it, but other than, I describe it as the pretty Resident Evil games, which is a very ironic thing to say, about the games, considering, but, let's be honest, the PS1 wasn't exactly, the most, it didn't have like the most prettiest graphics. It was impressive. Definitely helped take us to a new direction. But there's a reason why games from that era, doesn't really get too much of a remaster treatment. Those type of games tend to be remade. Because at least with stuff that comes out on PlayStation 2, you could at least do an HD remaster. But you can't with, even if you make the games look as best as you could, and I've seen them, through PC emulators, look, yeah, really really good. But there's only like so much you can do. So at the end of the day, these games are ugly. They're overly pixely and all that, and these games didn't become, at least graphically, pleasing till Code Veronica came out. That was a game that first came out on the Dreamcast, and it looked pretty impressive on there. So yeah. So anything that's like after the original, PS1 Resident Evil games, like, I consider the pretty era, because now all the games, are pretty. They remade Resident Evil 1, so if if there's people out there who are very much interested in playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, but want to get into Resident Evil first, the best way to go would just be to play the Resident Evil 1 remake. If they want to make the dive to play, to throw in Resident Evil 0 in there, cool. But they should be good to go if they just play the Resident Evil 1 remake and then go on to play the Resident Evil 2 remake. It's unfortunately, for the most part, now it's unnecessary to play the original PS1 games. The only one that we're missing is Resident Evil Nemesis. I refuse to call it Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. If anything, the 3 is silent. The 3 is just there, to be aesthetically pleasing to a certain whiny ass company. Um, so I guess I might as well talk about that for a bit before I go ahead and get started. So, like I said, beat Resident Evil 2. Great game, solid game. It does what every good sequel is supposed to do, and that's improve on everything that worked and fix whatever was broken. And that's exactly what they did. Despite how great Resident Evil 2 is as a game, Resident Evil 1 is is still my favorite, and I still consider that one the best for um, for certain reasons. I think one of the strong points in something like in a game like the first Resident Evil is that you played this game, and other than maybe at that point having some form of familiarity with zombies and whatnot, but you don't really know what's going on with the story, and you get bits of information of the story mostly told through you through notes and files that you find. And even then it's not much, but you can start kind of putting things together till you get to the end where you learn a little bit more about what's going on. But even by then, like, you should already like had figured out what's going on. But that was what was really cool about the first Resident Evil, is just that everything, when you initially played that game, everything was just a surprise. You didn't know what was going on with the mansion. Why, like, you know what zombies are? Why are there zombies? Why are there zombie dogs? Why are you fighting a giant fucking snake? And a lot of these things are like completely unexpected. Like, you're just playing the game and you don't expect to all of a sudden just run into a giant snake, um or have to fight a giant plant, or have to fight hunters. And to me, like, I thought that's part of the magic of the original Resident Evil, was just playing this game and you have no idea what's going on, and you're, for the most part, even though technically you are, the game does take place in this mansion. This mansion does have outside parts of it, that, but it's associated to the mansion. And without having played the newest Resident Evil, not knowing how they handled that game, I don't know, just no other Resident Evil game tried to replicate what they did in Resident Evil 1, which is have this game that takes place in the confines of this this mansion. Doesn't have to be a mansion, but just this one location. And with Resident Evil 2, the police department is their mansion, but I don't think like the police station is, it's still a fairly large location, but it's not as big of a location as the mansion was. You get keys throughout the police station, and those keys are they only open like maybe one or two doors in the police station for like each key. And um and other than that, like a lot of other items and stuff that you find, they can only like whatever you need to use them for is like right next door or something. Like you'll have a locked door or a locked thing, and oh, the key for it is just so happens to be maybe in the next room over. Uh, so stuff like that. And after you beat the police station, you're now traversing between from the sewers or the underground into the laboratory. And really, once you get past the police station, while you're not quite almost done with the game, but you're kind of almost done with the game. Because the police station is basically the biggest part of the game, and like I said, it's not as big as a mansion, but it is a big location. But once you get through it in just a few hours, the rest of the game is mostly game from point A to point B. Even when you get to the underground laboratory, the underground laboratory like isn't that big at all. The underground laboratory only has like maybe like a few rooms in it. So but yeah, it's just after the police station, the rest of the game is, you going from point A to point B. Um and that's not really a knock towards like Resident Evil 2 or anything. Like it is an excellent game. Just all the way around in all aspects, but what Resident Evil 1 did with the mansion, with the sense of mystery it had, and it gave you much more of a exploration element to it. um I still have to give the nod to the original Resident Evil. Like fight me. So now I think I talked enough about those two games. So now let's get to Resident Evil Nemesis. There are times where I will call it Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, whatever, um but the reason why I at times refuse to say the 3, aside from the fact that it's silent, um so when this game was originally developed, it was definitely, for sure, and in a huge way, is kind of a side game. And it was originally produced as like as a side game. And uh I know maybe calling things like a side game, it gives it uh, I'm putting the words, but basically there's like already like a preconception to like, oh, this game is like a side game, because if it's not an official game, it might be garbage. But but Nemesis, this game, like, sure is not that. It happens to be, a really good Resident Evil game. It's not better than Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2, but it's still a fairly good game on its own right. And I'm sure there's probably people who might even enjoy playing this game over Resident Evil 1, and maybe perhaps even Resident Evil 2. That's fine. um so the reason why that this it was considered a side game, and for the most part kind of is so this game you play as Jill Valentine, who apparently is, among the last of, her stars group to leave Raccoon City, or like, the country, for that matter, to go deal with, and investigate Umbrella and whatever other shit. Basically, this game takes place during the same time period as Resident Evil 2. Technically, the game starts out before Resident Evil 2, Um, in a way, this game is kind of like split up into three parts. So like the first part of the game takes place the day before the events of. Hold on one second. Um, takes place the day before the events of Resident Evil 2. And then so in the game, there's a part of the game where you play um as a support character, Carlos. He uh so during that small section of the game where you play as him, uh during that time frame that takes place, that's during the events of Resident Evil 2. Not that it really matters, but just to give you like, not that anything in Resident Evil 2 plays much into here. But just to kind of give a time frame of the story. And then when you regain control of Jill for that last part of the game, that's now the day after Resident Evil 2. Um so that's now the day after Resident Evil 2. Um and then I guess spoiler alert. But Raccoon City ends up getting nuked, which you find out in um like in later games. That the place got nuked after Resident Evil 2. But here in Resident Evil 3, like you get to see that. Um but other than that, like one fact, um the rest of the game like isn't really pertinent to the overall story of Resident Evil. I don't really think you find out like anything more. And other than maybe like the little inner workings of what was going on, initially uh during the zombie outbreak in Raccoon City. But there's really nothing that pushes the story forward. Um, that continues the story, like it's not. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's why this is meant to be like a side story. So about that same time that they were working on Resident Evil Nemesis, they were also making Resident Evil Code Veronica, which is the true sequel to um to the franchise, because it pushes the story forward. It's basically the next chapter in the Resident Evil lore, in the Resident Evil story. And but it wasn't coming out on the PlayStation, and that was part of the problem. I don't recall the details or anything. Plus like this type of shit kind of like kind of annoys me, like this corporate level nonsense of everything and deals and contracts and whatever else. But I don't know, there was so what was going on was Resident Evil Nemesis was being produced and made for the PlayStation, and Code Veronica, which was to be or is the continuation of the Resident Evil story, was being developed for the Dreamcast, Sony's competitor. And originally, Resident Evil Code Veronica was going to be called Resident Evil 3. While this game was gonna just have the subtitle of Resident Evil Nemesis. But because of, I don't know, whatever whining whatnot that Sony um was doing, I don't know, something about in their deal that uh they wanted all the Resident Evil games that were coming out on the PlayStation to be numbered, and those were the only ones at that time that were allowed to be numbered. So to placate Sony, they they gave Resident Evil Nemesis the 3, and uh, and what was supposed to be Resident Evil 3 on the Dreamcast ended up being given the subtitle of Resident Evil Code Veronica. Even though for all intents and purposes it's technically the third game, but just because of, I don't know, legal contractual nonsense, we got Resident Evil Nemesis got the um got the main number stamp, I guess. So, and and now it forever has like the like this awkward spot in the Resident Evil franchise where it's like you're a side game, but you got the main number franchise stamp going. Therefore you're part of, you're a strong part of the series for sure. But you don't quite push push the story, or continue the story quite like Code Veronica was meant to and did. But I'm still gonna call it Resident Evil Nemesis. There'll be times that I will call it Resident Evil 3, whatever. But for the most part, the 3 is silent. The 3 is just, it happens to be in the shape of a 3 just to be aesthetically pleasing to to placate Sony. And yeah, so that's the mess of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So I was kind of hoping that me bullshitting for like almost a half hour, not doing shit, um, would have maybe attracted some people, but nah. And at this point, why would they? Because we have the Resident Evil 2 remake, that's out and about, and people are still playing it. And then you got fucking Kingdom Hearts 3. So that is what I'm competing with. But let's go ahead and get started. We probably won't be playing that much tonight. I was hoping to get home earlier, sign on earlier, start playing, but that wasn't the case. And unfortunately, so far, it's looking like this weekend is going to be one of those weekends where, my overall gaming is going to be down to a minimum. I was hoping that at the very least we could, maybe get through Resident Evil 3 this weekend, right? And maybe we still can, because this game, the good thing going for me with this game in particular, as well as Resident Evil 0, is that I only have to play it once. This is a game, but I shouldn't have a game to load. Yeah, I thought. Like hard mode or easy mode?
Resident Evil.
It all began as an ordinary day in September. An ordinary day in Raccoon City. A city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance. My last escape.
This is Chopper Delta, preparing to drop off at area E95070. Over.
What are they?
September 28th, daylight. The monsters have overtaken the city. Somehow, I'm still alive. Okay, we've got to get out of here.
What? What do you think you're talking about? I just lost my daughter out there! How dare you tell me to go back outside?
I'm sorry about your daughter, but there isn't gonna be any rescue. We have to get out of here!
No! I'm not going anywhere! I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters! Now leave me alone! I told you! I'm not leaving! Never! Just get away from me.
I don't know if... I don't recall if you could ever get him to, like, come out or open this, or... I don't know. Oh, I could just run up the stairs. I don't have to hit a button. I can do it. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe you make like your own bullets. Man, I still need a fucking anchor. Oh. So, because I'm playing on easy mode, they give me shit. Now, really quick, let me see what's up with the game instructions. I don't think I ever formally read them. Game instructions. This explains about various actions, operations on map, screen, operations. Hope you improve your chance to survive. So basically, they're telling us the new updates that they made to gameplay, because now you have objects that you can aim and shoot at, like exploding barrels. You can perform a quick 180 turn, so no longer like if you're gonna run away, you know, no longer do you have to actually go like spin around. And even though I'll probably still do that, just because, you know, because I'm used to the controls. But you know, if it's really, really necessary, you know, I have that option where I can just go like turn right around and then run, which is a really important feature in this game. Emergency escape. When you're trapped by enemies, you can push them away. Which I think was a thing in the last game, but it might be a little modified here. You have emergency dodging, so now when you know, I guess like a zombie goes and lunges for an attack, you can go and dodge it, which again is like a really important feature for this game. Getting off on and off an object, you get off certain objects in the game. No one kind of knew that. You got a map. Live selection at certain points in the game, the screen fades into black and white. At these points, you'll be, oh yeah, you'll be prompted between options. Which when I get presented with those, I'm gonna have to look up to see what ones I'm supposed to pick, because I think depending on certain options determines like certain things. So I kind of forgot about that. Give me one moment. Hey, what's up, Affiliate Army? Thanks for the lurk. And sorry about the other day that you went to follow and my alert box didn't go off. I really have no idea why it sometimes works and doesn't work. Event cancel. Is possible to skip certain scenes. Alright, so now we can skip cutscenes, which I don't think, yeah, it wasn't a thing before. But now it says you can skip certain scenes. And then see what this one's about. Instructions on the creation of bullets. I use the gunpowder and the reloading tool. Ammunition creation system. To create various ammunition, you need to use the reloading tool and gunpowder. It is a necessary item if you want to create different types of ammunition. By combining the gunpowder and reloading tool, various types of ammunition will be created. Mix materials to create various types of ammunition. There are 3 types of basic gunpowders, A, B, and C. Please note that gunpowder C is created by mixing A and B. You can create various kinds of bullets by mixing the different gunpowders. There are 13 different kinds of gunpowders in all. So we have A, which is handgun bullets, B is shotgun shells, C, grenade rounds. Then if we do A plus C, it's grenade flame rounds. We do B plus C, grenade acid rounds. So basically handgun bullets plus grenade rounds will give me the flame rounds. Shotgun shells plus plain grenade rounds will give me grenade acid rounds. And then if I do grenade rounds plus grenade rounds, that'll give me the all-new freeze rounds. And then combining 3 things of grenade rounds will give me magnum bullets. Mixing gunpowder with grenade rounds. If you combine a certain type of gunpowder with grenade rounds, special types, yeah, we kind of just saw that. Mixing level improvement. If you repeatedly create the same kind of ammunition, your skill will be improved, and you'll be able to create more powerful ammunition. I don't really recall what that's about. Oh, but for now. So because I'm playing on easy, I I have certain benefits. The game, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the game starts you off with the assault rifle when you play on easy. I think when you play on hard mode or whatever other difficulty, you just have like the handgun, the standard handgun. If I'm not mistaken, if you even get that much, I don't know. But aside from that, I have infinite ink ribbons, so now I can spam saving the game. I don't have to worry about, trying to make my ink ribbon stretch. Not that that was too much of an issue last couple games, but at the same time, I couldn't save like every 2 seconds, like I'm probably gonna on here. So the game has already gifted me with the Magnum, some Magnum bullets, a shotgun, some shotgun shells. Here you got the handgun, and we got a bunch of bullets for that. And then we have, I'm able to reload the assault rifle at least a couple more times, and then we get this useless ass knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this first aid spray away. I'll just hold on to the one. I hold on to the warehouse key for now. For now, I'll put the reload tool here, and I'll put the gunpowders here till I decide what to do with them and if I, really need them. And then let me go ahead, get this infinite ink ribbon out, and let's save the game. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna fight like any bosses or anything soon. So, just in case, though, let me pack the shotgun with me. And let me bring an extra clip. The assault rifle, and that'll be it, because, we have to manage our inventory, so we don't want to go crazy giving ourselves items. So I should be good to go. Yeah, I got healing item, warehouse keys. Alright. I don't think there's anything else in here. There's nothing I can do? Okay. Yeah, I don't recall if you could ever open that. Get him out of there. So that was you only get that for the warehouse key. tell that one in the middle there is dead. I don't see him doing anything. Oop, accidentally blew up some. Hope I didn't need it. Alright. Before I continue moving forward, let me check out this door back here. If there's anything else around here. Where's the stat screen? You can freeze on me? Whoa, what was that? Okay, that was weird. Alright, we already have a shotgun, but really we're just taking because that shotgun kind of comes with extra ammo. So, and every little bit counts because because there's not really much to the assault rifle ammo. Like, yeah, I've killed a bunch of zombies, but it's also gone down quite a bit. Got some herbs here. Alright, before I head down there. Oh, saw a lady. Have you seen that before? Could I have saved her? Huh. Now I feel like looking it up to see if that girl can be saved. Okay, so from what I'm reading up, no, it's just I guess something that just happens, and yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It sounds like I can't save her or anything. So. But since I'm here, let me put some items away. I feel like we're probably gonna need the lighter oil soon, but and Jill, why that's sweater that's wrapped around you? Why don't you wear it? Put it away, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the point of all that was, other than, I don't know, maybe just the game throwing stuff out there. Like, should I be concerned about you? Locked from the other side. Alright, so no matter what, the only way I can go is here. Oh, the guy that died got up. that's gonna lead back to the other side. Might be important. Sounds like I'm gonna need a lighter. Just fair warning, I'm probably gonna be signing out very soon. Like, I knew it was gonna be a very long stream, just, wanted to, put my thoughts of basically the Resident Evil franchise out there. And just start this game.
Get away!
Brad, hang in there. Why isn't someone doing something about this?
I didn't know you were still alive, Jill. The police aren't trained for this kind of situation. What could they do? Listen, he's coming for us. We're both gonna die.
What are you saying?
You'll see. He's after STARS members. There's no escape.
And there's the lighter. Clock Tower postcard. Oh. Then you go back and get the oil. Where I going wrong way? Oh yeah, I don't think I've been down this way, have I? Oh yeah, I have. I guess nothing happens to her, maybe? Like, I mean, you know, I don't think she comes back to life. I have to keep checking on this dude. Like, still in there. You know, just to see if he ever tries to come out or something. You know, I was just thinking that I kind of feel bad for, you know, I'm sure that there were people who perhaps they managed to find, I don't know, a safe area somehow, you know, in the game, or maybe they hunkered down somewhere, you know, only for them to get nuked at, in the end. I doubt I could add on, yeah. So I'll just put that there. And I'm gonna go ahead and save it again because I got infinite ink ribbon, so I can save. I can abuse the save system as many times as I want. I should be leaving soon, but I'll go ahead and play a little bit more. Like I said, I was hoping that I would have signed on earlier, and that way at this point, maybe I played for a few hours and got a good ways into the game. But that doesn't really happen, you know? It's life. Now, I know that there's people that when they stream, they kind of stress about having a schedule, things like that, and I don't bother with that because with my life, you know, you don't know what each day can bring. So, you know, I'd like to be able to go sit there and, you know, have like a dedicated schedule that I'm going to mostly stick to. But I know that's not going to be the case, because like I said, just every day is a different day. And you know, you don't know. You know, sometimes you don't know what each day brings, and that can and will have an effect on if I'm going to be able to stream at all that day, and if I do, for how, you know, for how many hours do I get to play. But it's okay. You know, the only reason that I'm even, you know, streaming while I'm playing is because you know, over, you know, maybe if anything before this year, over the last few years, like I haven't been. Do I combine this maybe? Oops. Oh. Okay. But the main reason why I even started streaming on Twitch is just because prior to like last year, I wasn't being a very good gamer, not skill-wise or anything like that, just playing video games in general, and just finding the time to go and play, and streaming through these games is just helping me gain me back into gaming a bit more. Oh shit. Motherfucker. And I'm out of... just happen to be out of assault rifle bullets. So I guess I was supposed to go through here. And let me run back to where I found Brad. It's a gravity ribbon. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like streaming has helped me get back into, you know, into the groove of gaming again. Alright, before I continue forward, I'm gonna go back to where we found Brad. For those who don't recall Brad, he was the helicopter pilot that came in and picked up the survivors of the first Resident Evil. So you don't really get to see him much in the game, mostly because he's a fucking bitch. At the beginning of Resident Evil 1, when they first land and they're outside of the mansion, That's when they're all of a sudden attacked by zombie dogs, and Brad ends up flying away like a bitch, leaving everybody. Oh, that one's still not done. You move it around. Okay, you're crawling. You crawled to its zombie lover. You wanted to die next to him. Oh, okay, that takes you back over here. Alright, that's what that was for. Alright. Let's just go here. Alright. Pretty much good to go for the moment, but let's save it again. Because we can. And we can do it as many times as we want. Oh, damn it. Forgot to put the ink ribbon away. with a simple lock. What happened? Now you forgot how to lockpick? Now you're just as dumb as the boys? The series? Because typically the girls can lockpick, but the guys can't. Alright, so I know one of our first major options comes up. But I think I already know what that option is gonna be. And that's likely going to be to run. But I pause it so I can double check, so bear with me, please. Don't mind me, everyone. I'm just I was looking up the the live event choices that you get, because I know that they, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they affect the affect the game. But it may not matter. Because it looks like I'm going to have to uh quit playing for the night. Unfortunately, I apologize for a very short stream, especially because I got so many people that are watching. But for those that are watching now, please hit follow, so that way you could be notified when I do sign on. I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be playing Resident Evil 3. So if you're interested in checking out some more, I'm going to do my best to try to do what I can to play it throughout the weekend and hopefully finish it. So for everyone who popped on to join, thanks. Hopefully you'll come back again. Like I said, just hit follow, so then that way you can be notified next time I sign on, which will hopefully be tomorrow. Maybe something later afternoon ish or something. And then hopefully throughout the weekend. So again, apologize for the short stream, but hopefully see you guys around over the weekend. All right, have a good night, everybody. All right, bye, Peluche, bro. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce your name. But please follow, so that way you can get notified when I sign on if you're interested in checking out more Resident Evil 3. So, good night.